What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? So, looks a little crooked. All right, guys. I'm not set up. I got to get my computer. I also want to set this light. I want to set this light somewhere. Maybe I'll just put it right here for now. Will that show up? Nope. I don't know if I really want it to show up. Let's see. Something. It's kind of chaotic. I'm supposed to start this in 5 minutes. And I'm supposed to have a guest. Supposed to have a guest. Niko from Griff Lawn Care. Well, actually, he's not really going to be a guest. He's supposed to be like my co-host for these lives. But it's all my fault if he is not able to make it, because I didn't make it last week, and we had like this real, we had said we were going to do it, but I forgot I'll be in Dallas. And so I was in Dallas last week. Freaking awesome time. It was kind of long though. It was Sunday to Sunday. So it was a full, what is that, 7 or 8 days? 7 days. And it was a lot of information, man. I came back with all kinds of notes. But yeah, I just got a message from Niko, and he's going to be a few minutes behind. So I'm going to text him. I'm going to text him the link if I can do that. Let me see. Copy. And I will text it to him. In the meantime, I'm going to get my computer. Don't really know what for. I like looking at stuff while I'm doing my lives. But what is up, everybody? How's it going? I just got back from the gym. Well, I didn't just get back. I just left the gym, got here, and there's somebody taking off GPS devices on my trucks that we're wanting to sell. Let me see if I can put this on real quick. Nope, it wants to go on my other. Hold on. Oops, shit. Come on. Disconnect. Okay. Let's see if I try this again. Is it on there? No. Sorry, the reason why I want to put my headphones on is because when Niko comes on, I want to be able to hear him better. And I'm not sure if I got it on here. Let's see. Headphones, boom, disconnected, Bluetooth enabled. I just wish there was an easy way to get these damn headphones on this thing. I wonder if I can get out of it real quick. There, I did it. I think I got my headphones on. And I don't notice until Niko gets on. All right, got to get my computer real quick. So I do have a busy day today with family stuff. I've got to move some people to help move. I've got a U-Haul truck coming. So I may be interrupted here at some point. But I'll be here for an hour. I'll try to anyway. So Niko said he's going to be late, but remember, that was my fault. We will get something going pretty consistently. I want to do these lives every Saturday. Not quite sure on a time. 8 o'clock Mountain Time, 9 o'clock Mountain Time, 8 or 9, one of those two. And we'll lock it in. I think 8 o'clock works for me. That's what the time it is for me now. And Niko, I believe we talked about it, but I'm really bad about this. But I'm pretty good about being regular on lives. It's just that I don't have a time. Usually it's like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You know what I mean? So I apologize about that. And I'd like to keep these at a topic, it's like a topic. So, but today's topic is mainly going to be just seeing how it goes with me and Niko, doing these lives and kind of seeing how it goes. We've had a live before and it went great. It was like one of the best lives I've ever done, but it was the first time I was trying to get these lives up and running. So I actually deleted it, because I had like 5 of them that were on here from me just trying to turn them on and turn it off, that I deleted it, man. And it was like my best live I've ever done. And it was with Niko. That kind of sucks because it was such a good video. We talked about a lot of stuff. Somebody's coming in right now. Let's see who that is. Maybe they're just putting the devices in the back desk. What's up? All set? That was quick. All right.
The one on the fence.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to go on the right side. That's just
Of course. Well, thanks. You too. See you next time. Later. Okay, so he took the devices off of 3 GPS. Oh, I got Niko here. Let's see. Let me add him. Should be on here in a second. Yeah. Niko, what's up, bro?
Up? How's it going?
Real good. Did I screwed it up again, right? Was it supposed to be 9 o'clock or 8? I can't.
I think it was 9 my time, 8 your time.
Okay, perfect. So
I think you did good. You did good.
I pulled it off. I pulled it off. All right, so yeah, I just got on. I'm still getting set up. I still don't have my live on my computer because I've just been talking, but I don't really have a topic today. Do you? You got something?
Yeah,
basically,
I have a couple things.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, one, how was the Dallas thing? Is that where you're at, Dallas?
Yeah, it was awesome, dude.
Is that what conference was that?
So there was 2 of them. I'm a part of the Simple Growth Mastermind group, which is run by Mike Callahan, Dan Ralphs. Those 2 guys are on, speaking at every freaking event. You know what I mean? I think they spoke at the Landscape Summit this year. I know they did in the past. And also Dan Ralphs and Mike Callahan, they speak at the Dallas Service Autopilot Conference as well. I mean, I don't know, like, I'm sure they speak at tons of other things, but those are the ones that I go to and I hear them talking all the time. Really good stuff, man. I never, do you know who those 2 are?
I've never heard of them, to be honest.
Yeah, so Mike Callahan, he basically is like the mastermind behind automations for lawn care industry. So he has a company called Simple Growth Automations, I think. I don't even really know the name of the company, but basically he just figured out automations like 14 years ago. and was doing stuff with it. And people at Keep who basically created the automations, like figured it out that he was doing this, and they partnered together. And dude, that's crazy. And yeah, so he knows a lot about that. But and then Dan Ralph's, he's just kind of like his background is like a dream master. Sorry,
What is?
a dream manager.
Oh.
He's a master of dreams.
Yeah.
So no, he's a dream manager. That's his background. So he did that for corporate company, and would help people like he figure out what their dream is at the company, and then he would figure out through the management team or whatever department he's in how can they reward this person to get this dream? What do they need to do? And then they'd come up with a plan, whether it's like a quarter plan, yearly plan, or just like 5-year goal. And they would just figure out what they need to do, and then they would always remember that goal. It's really cool. So it would actually help the company as this person like achieved like huge success, so he can get the goal, whatever it is. If it's like travel the world, how do we make this happen?
Yeah.
Buy a house, buy a car. I don't know, join a bowling league, lose a ton of weight. I mean, whatever it is, like, and he would do that for the whole company. And it was really inspiring to hear that kind of stuff because, as business owners, we want our employees to like live their best life because that's kind of like our dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really cool to have him as the like helm of this mastermind group. It's really cool. So actually, like I met him. Well, I met him probably a year ago to the date. But then I got to know him pretty good at a conference, and then I ran into him. And by the next time I ran into him, I was part of the mastermind group that he runs. And so that the day before I ran into him at that other conference, I actually hung out with Tommy Mello for like 4 hours. Okay, do you know who Tommy
Yeah.
Mello is?
I have heard of him through is that like you said your wife thinks it's your man crush or something on one of your other lives? Yeah.
Yes. That's right. So this dude has a 250 million in revenue garage door company in Phoenix, and he's just like, it's crazy how successful this guy is, and everything he does. He has a podcast and books, and he's the real deal. You just know. There's no
Yeah.
question he's the real deal. And I hung out with him for 4 hours because we went to a hotel like kind of early at an event, and it was just me, him, and his girlfriend at the bar. Like he invited me while I was coming from the airport, so we Ubered together, and then from there they're like, "Hey, we're going to the bar. You want to hang out?" And I was like, "You bet." So I went, and I was there the whole time, and he was like taking calls, coming back, answering any of my questions. Anyway, I got to know him pretty good. And so by the time like we were at this event, and later on that day or the next, no, it was the next day. And I ran into Dan Ralphs, and I was like, "Hey, Tommy Mello, he employs a dream manager. Like he talks about it a lot because he loves that position exists in his company, because he does the same thing where they have this person that just figures out what everybody wants to do, and then they make goals to hit those dreams." And so I introduced Dan Ralphs to Tommy Mello. So that's
Oh, okay.
it's my 2 minutes of fame there. So
Here's a
yeah, that
big
was pretty
question.
cool.
I know you've been on like more strict like health diet. I don't know if you call it diet or just a different lifestyle and losing some weight and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Did you stick to it good while you're on your trip?
Yeah, I mean, considering I was on my trip and the first half of the event, there was no lunch provided, so we had to go out to eat or dinner. Um, so I think I did fairly well. I've been on this like eating thing for like since October 1st.
Mm.
And so I just
It's
within that,
always tough when you're traveling.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, I was mindful of it, and there wasn't a scale. That was my other issue. So I also have this routine of going to the gym like super early, like 5 a.m. to be there and do like an hour on the treadmill. And sometimes that was a little hard for me because we'd be talking, when I go to these events, dude, we talk in the lobby and if Jamar's here still listening, he knows. Um, we'll talk late as hell. You know what I mean? Like so late, like you're falling asleep while you're sitting down. My U-Haul truck is here. And
Yeah.
so it was
Yeah.
really hard to wake up that early. And I mean, if you're not in the gym by 5 at these events and they're serving breakfast at like 7, you know what I mean? You can kind of miss it. Um, so I missed it a few times, and so I wasn't able to keep track of it daily, but it was something on my mind. I think I did really good, and it's really sad because I had in my mind that I was going to be like really good about what I ate, and even going to the gym in the morning, so that I could go to this place called Hutchings in Dallas, which is just like the best barbecue. You know what I mean? Like that's where the locals say is the best. That's in the
Yeah.
Dallas area. And I felt like I wasn't good enough to go there, so I didn't go. So that's how good I think I did. So actually, when I came back, I weighed 2 pounds more than I did when I left, but that's actually a win because I didn't have a scale the whole time and I didn't go to the gym every day. And my eating was just kind of like hit or miss, but I definitely didn't overdo it on any meal, so I felt pretty good. But yeah, it's hard. The thing is, are you like asking because maybe you're interested in maybe eating a little better or what? No, or yeah? Okay. Well, yeah,
Piece pizza quick. Like it's too convenient to eat
yeah,
shitty
it
food, to
is
be
for
honest.
real. So, what?
And it's like not even like a cheap option anymore. Like you go to a gas station, spend like
Yeah,
15
yeah,
bucks on lunch.
yeah, dude. So there's two things. One, cut out all the cookies and in between meal stuff like chips, cookies, whatever your snacks are in between your meals, right? And then write
Mhm.
down what you eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Write it down seriously, and not for any reason other than to learn your habit of what you eat, and then obviously do like an hour of some kind of exercise. You know what I mean? Whether it's running, but don't count doing estimates running from house to house. Like that does not count.
Yeah.
You have to do an hour at least of something at the gym, even if it's just working out with weights or something. I just go on the treadmill for an hour. That's it, and I just walk. That's it. Well, I do that. That's how I started. I do more than that now, but and then you just write it down, and then once you start noticing like a pattern of losing weight, then you can kind of change what you're eating, or lower it or skip it. You know what I mean? So I do a protein shake in the morning, first thing, and not a protein shake. It's one of those milk things from Costco that's protein, 30 grams of protein. So I drink that right when I wake up in a bottle of water. That's my and then I used to have like a little breakfast, but I'm trying to lose weight, so I skipped the breakfast part. But that's the milk protein is my breakfast now. And then I don't eat till lunch, and it's just like a healthy choice. You know what I mean? Like a frozen thing. And I put that in the microwave and I eat that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then around 3 I'll have another protein shake, one of those other milk again. And then I just have a normal little dinner, dude. Like that's it. And I've been dropping.
No snack at night.
No, you can't. You got to take that out. You can't,
That's
dude.
my bad thing. I'm like doing paperwork or something late at night. And I'm like almost
Yeah,
bored of it. So I'm like, I need to eat something while I do
I
this. So like
know. So I
drink a
try to
soda
have.
or something.
Well, yeah. Well, I'll do Diet Cokes all day. I'll drink like 6 every night. I still do. Like I can't. That's my death thing. It's gonna kill me, but I don't want to change it. I'm too happy with it. So, but the thing is, I try to have dinner by like the 5 o'clock hour, something like that, and then you don't eat anything until the next morning. You know what I mean? So, but I'll keep drinking those Diet Cokes.
Are
Um,
you dropping good weight doing that?
yeah, it's
What you
like
just said?
it's a pound a day. Yep.
Damn. Do you
And
have a
and
goal weight or like a
yeah,
goal physique?
yeah. It was just to have a six pack. It was my goal. Um, but
Yeah.
I was going to the gym for like 6 months straight with a trainer 3 days a week, and I still do it. But my body did not change at all. Like, I mean, it did, right? Like, my wife noticed, oh, you know, you're getting muscles. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was
Yeah.
changing, but my weight did not change. I felt and looked the same in my mind, even though my muscles were getting stronger, I guess. But I was like, dude, I was starting to get. I wasn't mad at my trainer, but I was like, look, I'm starting to get like discouraged because I wanted to lose weight, and it's been 5 months, and I'm still the same weight I was when I came in. And we even do the InBody thing where it checks all the fat percentages and all that.
Mm.
And I was like, letting her know. And she's like, well, it's because you have to eat right. If you don't eat right, you can work out all you want and it's not going to change. And I was like, yeah, I get it. But, I have been eating better. She's like, well, so she's the one that told me, write down. And then I did it for like 2 days and then I forgot to do it for 2 days. And I was like, screw it. I can't do it. And she's like, no, then you'll never lose weight. You have to do this one thing or you will never lose weight. So I was like, okay, fine. So I started doing it. And obviously she said cut out the cookies in between meals because that's my downfall. You eat like 3 fudge Keebler cookies and that's like 400 calories, bro. That's
Yeah.
like what you should eat for lunch. You know what I mean? 3 little cookies. So she's like, you have to cut that out, but write down what you eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Keep coming here to the gym just this one time, and then you'll see something happen, right? So, and that's when I started noticing, and it's like, oh, and then I started building off of that. But you have to write it down so you know your pattern, because then you'll forget. It's like, oh yeah, I think I had a shake for breakfast, but then you'll realize like I just have to stay within those parameters: breakfast, lunch, late lunch, dinner, and that's it. But just now within those, you have to like remember the portion size. That's the key too. So when I was in Dallas, everything was a buffet, right? Like for lunch, and when the second part of the event was they
Yeah.
did serve lunch and dinner at some of the days. So I just kept remembering what my portion sizes were because I would write it down. I wouldn't write down what my portions, but I would write, one toast and um, a weight a healthy choice. You know what I mean, or whatever the other one's called. So I write
So
that
you
down.
write it down every day? Like
Yeah.
your meals every day?
Well,
Oh, damn.
I kind of didn't do it this week. Okay. So I don't know if I'm like getting to the point where I feel good about. I feel like I can trust myself now. I know what I'm supposed to eat. Um, but dude, so I ran into this guy, like a good friend of mine named John. I forgot. He's got kind of a hard last name, but he won the biggest badass award this year. Like he won it, so that was really awesome. He won a $12,000 vacation from Service Autopilot. And
Oh, damn.
anyway, I was talking to him because that dude dropped tons of weight, and he's in the Supra program. You ever heard of that with John Madsen?
N No. What's
Yeah,
that?
so it's a online. If you go on Google, Instagram, you type in Suprahuman, you'll see what it is. Basically, it's a group of people. You have to show that you make over 100 grand in revenue. No, in personal, like you have to make 100 grand to be part of that group, not revenue from your business, like your personal stuff. Uh,
Yeah.
and so it's one of those things. I don't know. Like I don't know why. I didn't really ask him, but anyway, he's part of that, and he really changed. Like he went from fat to badass shredded. So I asked him a lot of questions too, and I told him this little thing I just told you about my eating habits, and he basically pulled out his phone. And he's like, I do the same thing. You have to write everything down, but he uses My Fitness Pal, and he
Mm.
weighs things. I'm like, dude, you're already ripped as hell. Like why do you have to go that extra that extra, you know? And he's like, dude, we're all in our own fitness levels, and that's what I need to do to hit my goals. Um, you know, that's what works for me. That's what I need to do. And so I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense, I guess, in a political way.
Yeah.
So so anyway, yeah, but it's really inspiring, you know what I mean? Because and so I asked him. So to answer your question, like, what's my goal? Because my goal when I first started going to the gym with a personal trainer was to get down to 165. All right. So, but as I've been losing weight now, and I lost 20 pounds since October 1st, and now I weigh 185. Like, am I going to be able to lose 20 more pounds? You know what I mean? And like be alive. So,
Yeah.
so I was like, maybe I have to change my goal there. Maybe I could be 175. So, but anyway, my buddy that I ran into, he's like 6'3" or something like that. I mean, he's way taller than me, and he weighs 175, which is only 10 pounds more than my goal. So I was like, dude, my goal was 165. Should I still do that? Because, um, I feel like it might be too light for me. And he's like, no, dude, you can get to 165. And then when you get there, evaluate what you want to do, but you can keep dropping and you'll be fine, you know? So I was like, all right, so my goal is 165
How,
to answer your question.
how tall are you?
5'8".
5'8". That's like what I am. But
Nope.
I didn't know if you kept on the diet thing because I know, calories don't count on vacation to a lot of people, including myself. I mean, I'll eat whatever the
Yeah,
hell is in front of me. And it's
I
always like
know.
really good food there and usually like free food and stuff at things like that. So it's hard to like be like, no, I'm not gonna eat that dessert, even though it looks amazing and it's free and you have to
Yeah,
have some self-discipline.
yeah, and it was no different. Not only that, the first hotel that I was at for the first part of the trip, was there was a restaurant called Moxie that was amazing. It was like it reminded me when I go to Hawaii, we go to the Marriott Beach Club Resort, and we there's this restaurant called I forgot the name of it, Leggies or something, Longhorns, something like that. And I'd rather eat there than go anywhere in the whole island to eat because it's so good.
Yeah.
So most of the time we just eat there. Um, and and that's how this Moxie was. I didn't want to go anywhere else, even though I was in Dallas. It wasn't like barbecue food, but it was just high quality, good food. $30 a plate type stuff. Um, and so I ate there a lot, but I tried to like just eat what I ordered, nothing else. You know what I mean? But yeah, um, dude. And the other thing I just realized is like while I'm doing this thing with the calories and stuff, is I'm not counting calories, but I realized how fragile calorie consumption is compared to the loss. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like
Yep.
so I work. So I'll tell you now. I don't want to scare you or anybody, but I work out for 3 hours a day now. Right? I go to the gym in the morning for an hour, and then I walk 4 miles around 10 o'clock, and then I walk, and then I go to the gym with the trainer. Right? So I'm there. Basically, it comes out to 3 hours a day, and I feel like it's just part of my life. It's not like I got to try and make it. It's just like when I do my meeting, my daily meeting with Rachel, my general manager, that's where we have our meeting. Is we walk for 4 hours, both of us, and that's where we
Oh
get
wow.
out and hash things out. We actually we're kind of like arguing with each other the other day, but by the time we started, we were kind of like fighting, kind of. But by the time we got back, it was all settled and good. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I feel like it's like I'm not doing this going out of my way, but shit, I forgot where I was going with this. You remember?
You're saying you didn't want to scare
Yeah,
anybody, but three
yeah. So
hours and
I do
then
3 hours. Okay, so here's the thing. So with that much calories, that much walking, I only burn like active calories, like 1,500 calories. That's it, and that's 3 hours worth of work. You know what I mean? And that's
yeah.
active calories, not just sitting there. Not just walking around the shop or at my house. That's me trying to burn calories, and that's 3 hours of my day, and it's only 1,500 calories. And you can eat that if you're not careful, and like with a double cheeseburger and a fry, dude. It's like that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I actually checked my guys that were working. like crazy. So when you add the active calories with the whatever the other calories called, where you're just burning it just for sitting down and breathing, uh, I average about 3,900 calories a day burned. Okay, so I went to my most like busiest worker to see how. So I had him. 'Cause, they don't track with like the exercise, but your phone will still track it in the activity, in the active, or in the, what do you call it, active app.
The
Yeah.
fitness app.
So I went in and I looked at all of their like their busy days, like the busiest days they do, and they were burning about that much too. So it's not like, so it's
Oh
crazy.
wow.
As hard as like those guys work from house to house, if you do about 3 hours, I know I don't want to scare you, but you don't need to do that much. But that's all it like, working like, they're working all day and they're still actively burning like 15, maybe 1,800 calories. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's insane.
So with what you burn normally without any kind of like exercise, you can get up to like 4,000 calories if you really try hard, and you can eat like, that's how hard it is like, if you notice those guys that are working all day long, not in my company but in any company, and they're still overweight or still big. It's like, you know how much you have to eat to maintain that, like a
Yeah.
ton. It's hard to do that, even though it's easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. It's hard and yet it's easy, because you can eat something that's, not good for you and then get it. But if you think about it, that's a lot of calories, and to eat that much is actually pretty hard. So yeah. Anyway, that's my fitness stuff.
I've another question for you that I heard the other
Yeah,
day
dude.
from a buddy. He's a lawn and landscape guy, has a company, and he's like pretty small, like 20 yards maybe or something. And he does more landscape when a lot of people say this to me, and it doesn't make sense. Is everybody's like, "There's no money in mowing." Everybody says that. Why do
Yeah.
you mow so much? There's no money in it. I'm like, you're obviously not doing it right, or have route
Yeah.
density, or charging
Yeah.
right, or
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason why you can't make money mowing. I know it's like small numbers and stuff versus like a $10,000-15,000 landscape job, but I honestly tend to lose more money on landscape jobs, or like get close margin stuff on landscape than I do mowing, because it's really dead for me. But I don't know if I just suck at bidding landscape jobs, but I always something comes up, some machine breaks,
Mm.
and I waste like 4 more hours, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Uh,
Everybody I talk to says there's no money in mowing.
well, yeah. I mean, because everybody does it with two-man crews, you know, um, with just driving between jobs. Think about that. You're paying two guys $20 an hour, maybe more, and you're paying them to go from job to job. Like, if it takes, I don't know, 15 minutes to go from one job to the next, or like they park and then they're looking at the notes and they're both sitting in the car, because isn't that what they do? It's like, when there's two guys, one guy, the passenger just sits there until the other guy opens the fucking door. It's like, get the
Yeah.
fuck out. You know what I mean? Like, I hate that.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's just 15 minutes is like super easy to do. That's 30 minutes. You just paid a third guy to drive you there, basically. You know what I mean? It's like, there's no money coming in and you paid for somebody's wage for 30 minutes. Like, that's how it is. Um that's one of the problems right there that people just don't get, you know? And
Yeah.
if they do P for P, even with two guys, in order to make money, they either have to have a little bit of houses on the day and work literally like 3 hours. Who the hell's going to do that, even if it's P for P? And then on the other end, it's like they've got 30 houses, which is the only way you can really afford two guys and one crew. And they're working, till 9 p.m. And of course those guys aren't going to go job to job all day every day. They're going to get tired
Yeah.
in the middle of the day, at the end of the week, and then they're going to, like, without even knowing or without even trying, they're going to slack. and that's costing you. Dude, I think that's the major thing is just two people, and obviously they're pretty high wages. Like sometimes my guys go, can we just can I just work with somebody? You know what I mean? Like, somebody will bring it up sometimes. And I go, okay, if you're willing to make $14 an hour, I can do it. Because then if I pay you both $14 an hour, then that'll be like a $28 an hour, which is what I'm paying you if after you go from job to job. Then I can do that. Do you want to do that? And I can do that for you. And then you can have somebody to talk to. And of course, nobody does it because they're like, "Oh shit, that's a big difference." It's like, yeah, it's a big difference. So, um, that's the thing. And the funny thing is, like my company, the employees all know that the money is in mowing. Like they all know it. The garden guys, the sprinkler guys, because I always compare the mow labor to their labor, and I'm like, do you
Yeah.
see how like at mowing we're at 33%, and you guys are at 70? Like, what is going on? You know what I mean? Like, there's a big problem here. So, yeah, you can make money mowing, but it's so hard though, right? Because the person has to mow. It's not like an awesome title for somebody out there, and when they're having dinner with their neighbors or friends or whatever, or mom and dad, I'm still mowing lawns.
Yeah.
Like, it's not easy, but so that's one of the hard parts. Um, and it is hard, dude. Like I went out one time this year and I could only do 9, and my body was like, "You're done. Like you can't do it anymore." Um, and I don't know if I would have kept going. You know what I mean? Like maybe the next day. Like I only did it 2 days. The first day I did have a helper because it's like screw that. I need a helper. Like I haven't mowed in years, so I need a helper. But then the next day I was like, I'm gonna go myself. I'll be fine. And then I could only do 9 before it was like getting too late. It's like 4:30, and I had to drive back to the shop and get my truck and go back home and have dinner with my family. Like I actually want to do that, and there's some people that they don't care about that, which is, I mean, not that they don't care, it's okay. And I guess when I first started, I was like, I'd come home late too sometimes, but so I guess I get it, but at some point you go, you know what, I want to come home at a decent time. And that's another hard part for these guys. So it's just a hard position. It's like my landscapers, that's a more like, I feel that that's better, like for their mental, like to tell people, yeah, I'm a landscaper. We build these yards and, or we install sprinkler systems. Um, and those guys, I feel like are always like, it's good. Obviously it's hard to train those people, but I don't know. It's kind of interesting how all the different positions are so different from another, like my sprinkler techs, like that's a whole another level of customer service that they need to have. And the expectations are a lot higher with them than they are with all the other stuff. Um, so yeah, but there's definitely money in mowing. But I understand, right? Like, Tigran says, why mow 100 lawns when you can mow one or do one paver driveway and make like what you would all year? Um, so I mean, you can do both, I think. But
Um,
yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I think if you do it right, you can make money on it, and
for sure.
like a lot of people just do it wrong, and it's hard. It is hard to build up route density, like to get it where you're going 2.5 miles and you have 15 yards. Like I know some guys that drive like almost like 30, 35 miles. They have like 9 yards. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you're like
Yeah,
driving more than you're mowing. It's
yeah.
not worth
So
it.
so we're gonna do a new thing. We already kind of have the plan. Talk to everybody that needs to know about it. So next year we're gonna have door hangers for every mow guy. I'm just gonna go crazy with door hangers, and I'm gonna give the mow guy whatever the value is of the lead. I might make it a flat rate to make it easy for everybody, but perfect world, I would pay them um, whatever I pay for a lead during that month, right, or that year, that during the month. So, like for example, in May, no, sorry, in April, leads cost me $47 or something like that, you know? Not a lead, a customer. An actual customer costs me $47. So I would pay them $47 if one of the neighbors where they put a door hanger on signs up. And the way I would know that they signed up is the Mo guy would tell me the next week they're there. They're like, "Hey, the neighbor's doing it. I put a door hanger here, so you know." And I'll go, "Oh yeah, well, that's right." You know what I mean? So I think it's something that could be tracked
Yeah.
without trying too hard because the Mo guys will tell us. You know what I mean? And so we're gonna do that. So if they could hang like I don't know 3 or 4 or 5 door hangers at every stop and get that extra bonus, every check I'll want to pay it like weekly. You know, like as soon as a customer signs up and we do the first time mow, I will pay the mow guy. So that's going to be a big push for density next year, and I feel really good about that one. So, what kind of stuff do you do for density?
Uh, I used to do that same thing. I'd have guys do like 5 houses around the door hanger thing. I never tried to track it though. I didn't give them anything.
Yeah,
I should. I mean, because at some point in the year, like I say, I don't want to do it because obviously you go to the same house every single week. So I didn't want to throw a door hanger every single week on them, obviously. But
yeah,
I tell them to kind of shift houses, or even if we did like if I do an estimate, I'll go around and put a door hanger on like that whole block, just to like get my name out there more. And it has worked. And I know that some guys think door hangers and stuff is stupid, but I do it more. I don't go out like on a Sunday and just walk around all day in these random neighborhoods. I just do it where I'm at. So I'm not like, I think that's what a lot of people have the idea of door hangers is like you go out and you walk around for 10 hours and just like go to random people. But I mean, if
no,
you
yeah,
get one randomly, like that's not helping your density at all, unless you're going in a neighborhood you're already in. But
yeah, yeah. No, I like that.
d-
I'm actually going to write that down. That not every week, um, because it could get repetitive. But
yeah,
like
I feel like they kind of would get like, dude, stop putting this shit on my door. Like I don't
yeah.
want
So
anything.
maybe once a month, or
And if you have,
you
like,
know,
the different ones of, like, I have, like, a mowing one, an aeration one, a landscape one, so I'd, like, swap them out and say this week they'd put mowing, and then the next week they'd put, like, a landscape one and just kinda rotate through, like, 3 of them.
yeah,
Obviously, depending like, we have a fall cleanup one that we put out and stuff, but
yeah,
if, the bad thing is, like, yours is a good idea because it's an incentive to do it. I wasn't given an incentive, so I'd give them, like, say, 50 of them in the beginning of the week or 100, and I'd count them at the end, well, there'd be, like, 98. I'm like, "Dude, you probably lost these 2. You didn't give any out." Like,
yeah. No, and I
uh
get it, and that's kind of I I feel like I don't remember if I ever did. I've had door hangers all the time. I don't even know how we get rid of them. Somebody puts them somewhere, but I feel like the Mo guys have done it in the past, and I didn't incentivize it either. It was more like, hey, to build route density, more for like you to have more budget hours kind of stuff. But really, that doesn't push people. Like you know, you know what I mean. I hate putting door hangers on. I really do. Like I hate it. I've done it, and I've gone. I used to have a guy named a Ben. I can't remember. He had a weird name, but he was like just a monster about it. He didn't care. Like there could be like family in the front yard. He walked right through them and just put the door hanger, and he walked right through them again to get out. Like I was just like, wow. So he was my door
I would
hanger
just
guy.
walk right past.
Yeah, me too. He wouldn't, and he didn't even like. I would like hand somebody the door hanger instead of walking past them. I'd go, "Oh, hey, we're handing these out." He just ignored them and just put the door hanger and walked right past them. There, it's kind of like, holy crap! I could even see because I would walk the street across the street, and one time I wanted to see what he did, and they just looked at him and then they just kept talking to each other like nothing happened. But I was like, damn, that guy is cold. Like
Yeah.
that's heartless, man. I don't know. it's so
That's
it's
funny.
such a hard thing for me to do that I just can't think of anything other than you got to be heartless to do it, or soulless. Like boom, like on a mission, And I don't even remember what I incentivized the guy. I think that's just the way he was. I probably should look for him again. Although he did get fired. He did some side work one time. Customer he was mowing a lawn. Okay, this is a mow guy mowing a lawn, and the customer walks across the street and says, "Will you fix my sprinkler? Will you fix my sprinkler valve?" This dude doesn't even know what a valve is. Okay, and the
Yeah.
customer's like, "I'll pay you $150 or whatever," and he tries to do it on the weekend or whatever, and of course it failed. This no longer could she get a hold of him because that's what they do, and so she calls Lawn Thumbs and played stupid, like, I thought I was calling your company, you know what I mean? I thought I had your company, like, I just reached out to him, and he I just assumed I was talking to the company. And I was like, "No, you knew you hired him on the side. You didn't call the office. We didn't take billing information, and you got burned like you always will be if you hire somebody like that." And so anyway, I was like, "Dude, if you still want to work here, you got to pay her back. Like that's it. You got to pay her back." "I'm not paying her back. I fixed it." You know what I mean? Well, then you're fired. You know what I mean? And he quit. So,
Did you have to fix it
yeah,
then?
of course.
Was it a was it, like, really messed up, or was it easy?
It was a normal valve leak, that had to be replaced again. It ended up being that, when we sent a real tech, he fixed it because that was we had those two. It was when she started throwing out well, I thought I was hiring your company, like, you know what I mean? Like, I did argue. I knew I was gonna fix it the second she said that, but I still let her know she knew what she was doing, and I said that to her. I said, "You knew you didn't hire the company. You hired the Mo guy, who probably never even seen what a valve job looks like." Um, but so when it's real tech goes, he fixed it, but then he did kind of like a free diagnostic while he's there, and we ended up selling like $2,800 worth of stuff there. So it turned into a big job, that was kind of cool, and we won that customer over. Like, we did more stuff for them in the past. I have a video actually somewhere on YouTube where the thumbnail is somebody with a bucket throwing out, like, you know like um you know like if they're taking trying to fix a flood, because that's what happened. The valve
Mm.
box flooded, and it flooded like the front yard up against the house. So anyway, but yeah, so that's kind of how that goes. But
What did, um this is kind of a random question for you, but I don't know if I heard it from one of your videos or not. I think I did get this idea from you, but do you do, like, monthly, like, basically, like, property evaluations and send them, like, "Hey,"
yeah,
whatever the mow guy, or if it was an estimator, and you go out and say, "Your shrubs
yes,
need trimmed, this needs done,
yeah,
that needs
we
done,
do
this."
that a lot.
Do you get a lot of people that go,
Yeah,
"Okay, we'll do that," or are
yes,
they like,
yeah,
"Okay, so"
yeah, dude. We've got like, we I don't if we had a name for it. I mean, we probably do. I mean, it's when we're desperate for work. And there's like we don't the amount of like new leads is low, or the guys don't have work coming soon, and it looks like they can see that there's not going to be any work unless something crazy happens. So what we do is, we'll go to regular like Mo customers jobs that we've got notes from the Mo guy saying, "Hey, this needs shrub pruning or something," like the garden beds look bad. We will send an estimator to go, like, she'll start looking for those things when she knows when she's in desperate mode. She will look at the dispatch board for notes that look like that, and then she'll go to those properties and do a real evaluation, and then send the customer an email, not a real estimate, not an official estimate, even though this is official, but it's more like, "Hey, Niko, I was at your property today, and I noticed your shrubs need to be pruned, and your garden beds need to be weeded. If you'd like, we can put you on the schedule for next week. It'll be $680. Just reply yes or no, and no big deal if you don't need this." And
this is
that's the ones that answer back a lot. They'll say, "Yeah, go ahead and do it." You know what I mean?
this
So it's not
is
like an
maybe a
official
stupid
estimate.
question.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. This is maybe a stupid question, but when you're desperate like that, uh, do you give, like, say it's actually 740 for regular, but you give them like 680, or you just do full
No,
price?
no,
Okay.
that's desperate is just looking for more work. Um, yeah. So,
And like
and then
discounts on shit and stuff.
the other desperate, which I guess we'll call it desperado phase two, is when we don't know the customer, but we put a door hanger with so we have these door hangers that I might be able to find really fast that has a space for us to write notes in, and we'll say, we noticed your shrubs need weeding. It would be this much if you call by this date, and then we'll leave that on a stranger's door, and that works too. You know, um,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So,
Yeah.
but as far as giving discounts, we've never done, except we're thinking of doing like next year, um, when a when a lead, an estimate that we know is dead because they haven't called back in a month or something, we might reach back out and do like a 10% discount or something like that, um, on that official quote that they got. The problem is, that a month later the weeds are even more harder, and now the budget hours are going to get reduced, so the garden guys are going to get pissed. But we did talk to them about that, and because that has come up sometimes. They're like, dude, this is 20. So we have done like discounts on old estimates. We have done that already, but it's never been like a systematic thing where like automatically after 30 days they'll get an email that says 10% discount, which is something we're going to do in the future. But Daisha doesn't like doing that because she says she's throughout her life she's noticed companies that do that, and it's kind of predictable, and she doesn't want
Yeah.
people.
So people could
Yeah, she
wait.
doesn't want people to wait, and I get it. So I said we can randomize it. If we're backlogged 2 weeks, then that's only good for 2 weeks. You know what I mean, or something like that. Um, so anyway, we can figure that out. But we have had to talk to the garden guys and say, who have complained about budget hours, and then we explain to them that this estimate is a month old, and we were either not going to be able to give you work, or we had to give them a discount. And when we do that, we have to reduce your budget hours. Sorry, that's just the way it is. You're still going to get paid hourly if you go over, but that's just the way it is. And they understand. Like when you lay it out like that, they kind of go, "Oh, yeah, okay, I get it." Because when we're busy, like there's no need to do this kind of stuff. But when it's slow, the guys know that they can go home at any moment. So
No, that makes sense.
yeah,
I don't know how, so you don't have much time. Do you have to leave by
yeah,
9, you said?
yeah, yeah,
Um, I was gonna have 2 quick questions quick.
yeah, dude.
One is I was watching one of your old lives, like maybe like a week or so ago, or listening to it while I was mowing. Do you still use, is it called Cypress CPA or
Cycle
Cycle
CPA,
CPA?
Cycle CPA. Yes, I
Is
do.
that you still like them?
Yeah, yeah, they're the real deal, though. This is like the real deal. Not like I mean, I know she's on Carla's on Instagram and whatever. It's cool, and she's like, she is a real freaking business. Like it's real. You know what I mean? Um, so it's kind of pricey, but it's they're not like accountants. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they're not gonna tell you what to charge.
Yeah.
So don't take advice like that from anybody.
Yeah.
They will try. You know what I mean? Like I believe I've had three, like because it's a real company. So the people that are assigned to me might end up getting fired or just moving on, and then they give me another person. You know what I mean? Um, and they do try to answer your questions. They don't just go, "Well, I'm just your bookkeeper, man." They'll say
Yeah.
like they'll give you some advice, and I've been doing this long enough, and sometimes I know they're just trying to be nice and give me an answer, but not the answer I want to hear. So I'll just thank them and figure it out on my own. But so I've learned over the time, not just with Cycle CPA, but with the other bookkeepers I've hired in the past too, that they're just bookkeepers, man. They're not gonna figure out your numbers. What they do is they look at your numbers and compare it to industry averages. So, and they're really good at that. So if they say you should be at this with your non-cogs employees, like try and follow that. You know what I mean? Like listen to that. But they're not going to tell you what to charge for mowing and stuff like that. I actually, while I was at the conference, anyway, to answer your question, they're badasses with your books. You know, they don't even ask me like, "Hey, what was this charge?" They just kind of figure it out. They would prefer that you go, "Hey, this $8,000 thing I took out is for a truck, not for me to go on a vacation." Like they want to know that, but even with that, they'll still try and put two and two together and figure things out. So that's kind of nice because I used to have a ritual every Saturday and I would categorize everything. And that would be like an hour of my day, which is fine. And it helps my business go forward. So I never really complained about that. But once they took it over and I realized they were doing a good job, I just forgot about it. And that was probably 3 years ago with Cycle CPA. So they're really good about their books. I have a real good accountant that is like works for the biggest firm in my city that I know of. And they are like the financial people of my city, and they never had an issue with the books once it was given to them from Cycle CPA. So that also tells me that they're good because
Yeah.
I've had that place, contact me and say, hey, something doesn't look right with this. Not that it looks shady or anything. It just doesn't look done or something. Like it still needs to be cleaned up. But with Cycle CPA has never once been an issue. And the people they give you, like they're in it. Like I don't know what they're incentivized, but like they're either paid good or given incentives, but they're really good. Just letting you know, like for being a bookkeeper, just don't mix up bookkeeper and mentor. All right, bookkeeper and
Yeah.
mentor are two different things. So don't just remember that.
Yeah.
But while I was at the conference, I was talking to the 10X guys. Do you know about like Grant Cardone and all them?
Yep. Yep.
So they had Brandon Dawson there. Brandon Dawson was there, and he's the one that runs Cardone Ventures, right?
Okay.
So the guy is just like, so it's a little too much, but that's kind of stuff I want to start getting into. I want to start learning that kind of stuff, like number scaling and kind of like I have the team building side down. I feel like I have the operational side down. I don't have the soulless look at a business for what it is mentality that I need to add to my little toolbox. You know what I mean? Like I think
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
business owners at some point needs to know take emotions out of it for a minute or for a weekend or for an hour a day and look at things as they really are and then make changes based on those soulless observations. You know what I mean? Like if somebody needs to get fired because they're constantly not hitting man hour rates, like you need to like put on those goggles, see it, and then go do it. Whereas
Yeah.
I'm missing that a little bit. So I want to get to that. And that's kind of what I get from Brandon is anyway, I was talking to the 10X guys who are just like, I don't know what they do at the headquarters there, but they were at a booth and they talk business, right? So I don't know what the hell they do out there in the headquarters, but they gave me some real big insights, man. Like I almost got like just as good information from them in the booth than I did with some of the like top name speakers talking. You know what I mean? So they were like, so because they were telling me, what do I talked to them about stuff. They wanted to know about the business and they're really interested in landscaping because this is a landscaping thing. And they're doing landscape boot camp. You heard of that? It's coming in like 2
Hmm.
weeks, in Arizona. And they're running it with Tigran, which I'm not saying Tigran's the mentor of the world for landscaping, but he's got that soulless part that we all need that we don't know we need. He has that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway, they were telling me about my business, and I was telling them about the struggles I had this year because I had some struggles. No secret. My labor percentage was out of this world because of the snow and because of the overhead non-cogs workers that I had managing the company was just draining the company because our revenue, like our work, we didn't get all the work that we wanted to. So it just caused domino effect for things to not go perfectly this year. So I told them all that, but I told them, we have basically a plan for everything. Like we're working on it. All these mistakes, I feel like I went to Harvard Business School. That's how good I feel about next year because I've learned so much this year. Um, so they were like, okay, so you're figuring out numbers. So what's your average household income in your city that you service? And I'm like, huh? What? I'm supposed to know that? They're like, yeah. How are you supposed to figure out what you're supposed to charge? I'm like, uh, based on what we need. They're like, yeah, that's one part of it. The other part is you need to know how much people are making, which tells you how much you can charge more than what you really need. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh my gosh, I never even thought about that. So right there, I'm like, Siri, what's the household income of Lehigh? What's the household income of Salt Lake? And they were different, they really were. And they were like, dude, you need to charge, for example, and they're like, look, I'm not here to teach you things right now. I'm just standing here at my booth, but you need to be charging uh, the place that has the higher income more than you can try and get that in the other place, but you may not get it. So you have to just have a surcharge for every city based on what people are making. You know what I mean? Like that's not the sole reason to charge what you need to charge. That's just one aspect of it, right? So like you need to put like what you have to make to run your business and figure out what your break even is and then add your profit to it, right? That's the easy educational way of doing it. But then there's another aspect of it that's like, yeah, but if you're going to be mowing in Compton and you're going to be mowing in Beverly Hills, don't you think you could charge Beverly Hills people a little more because they want their quality a little bit higher? It's like, yeah, okay. Well, you know what I mean? It's just like, it just blew my mind. You know what I mean? So I brought that to Rachel and it blew her mind too. She was just like, I mean, and I didn't word it to her like specifically like I worded it to you because now I had a little more time to run it all through my head. But she was very much on board with because that also applies to route that's not dense. So if you got a city like we're starting to go into Salt Lake, and we tell customers all the time, no, we're not going into Salt Lake because it's too far and we don't have a route. We're waiting to get a route. Well, if you add a driving surcharge to get to Salt Lake, then we can do it, even if it's one job as long as we're
Yeah.
getting paid for the drive time. So that's how she kind of took what I was telling her, and it blew her mind. So then we started adding that, and we already did that to a few jobs already. So like for example, we don't do snow in certain areas, but instead of saying no, we just say, okay, yeah, this is how much it is for us to go. We don't need to tell them that we're adding a surcharge. We don't need to tell them that, hey, we don't have any other properties in your area, but we're just going to do yours. No, it's like, here's the price. And if they say yes, like, boom, let's go. You know what I mean? So we obviously want to build a route there. So that's why we would be willing to do this. But it's not like we're going to be going to Colorado and then just giving them a price. No, we're like, hey, we're going to do this. Yeah, we'll do it for this. We're in the town right next to it, so we might as well add a little driving surcharge to that. And when we got the job, dude, we dude, I don't know, snowing, it's gonna be weird. I'm a little nervous because we actually have more customers, I believe, at this point than we did last year for snow, and it's they're a lot more spread out. And I don't know if we have as many people as we were last year. That was another thing we learned. So I have to like keep that down as well. So I'm a little nervous how it's going to go, but I mean, we've got a snow plow job that's over $1,000 a push, and it's not even that hard. Like it's a street that goes. It's you go into a neighborhood, and it's a street, and we have to plow this. The street goes all around the neighborhood, just one like a racetrack kind of thing, and then there's like two parking lots where like the clubhouse is, and that's it. And the clubhouse is can you can park like maybe 6 cars there, so it's not even that big. But it needs to be done right and good, right? So um, and then shoveling the sidewalk. So I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of nervous for all this stuff because snow is like if somebody falls, like you get blamed right away. You don't plow it at a certain time. You're getting calls, angry customers. So I don't know, but I've got somebody in charge of that, and I'm obviously going to hopefully monitor it as best I can and help wherever I can. But I'm gonna see what my team can do. They've done
Um,
snow, so it's not like it's not the first time they're doing it. So I feel pretty good about it.
Real quick before I know you got to go here quick, but
Yeah.
do you have your fertilizer and stuff ready for next year, like your
No.
plans and what you're getting? You don't?
Yeah, I have my pricing down, so we have
Oh,
that.
okay.
We know what we're gonna put in all the mixes for every application, for every program mix. I have the worker, and I just bought over the phone, didn't pay for it yet, a little mixing tank with the reel and the skid, whatever setup, the whatever frame. So I don't have product, but I'm good friends with John. Oh shoot, what's his last name? John Perry from Greene County Fertilizer Company. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I have heard of that. They have like the green effect, right? Is that one
Yes.
of the? Yep.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
do
That's
they
the
have a
best one I
kelp?
use. Yeah, Kelp Nutrition.
Yeah.
Might just be called Kelp. I call it Kelp Nutrition to my customers. So I've already got my pricing down with them. One year I gave him my plow. I traded him a brand new plow for two 250-gallon tubs of uh, RGS or something like that.
Really?
Yeah. He's
Is
like,
he
he's telling me,
local to
he's telling
you?
me, well, he lives in Park City, which is not super close, but I mean, for him to see civilization, there's a little city in Park City, but you come now, basically come in this area, right? For to meet other humans, and so he's out here, and I think he has like a little place where people can pick up product. He still delivers it to me. He hasn't in 3 years because I haven't done it, so I don't know how it's going to work out this year. But I already talked to him on Facebook Messenger, letting him know that hey, I'm starting again. Can I get some pricing? He gave me the prices, and it's just too early for me to go get 250 gallons at a time. I think it is. I think it's too early for that. So I don't have that stuff yet.
Where are you storing those at?
They used to just be in my shop, like in my garage.
I mean, do you have a garage at your shop
Yeah,
right now? Oh, you do?
yeah,
Oh,
the
okay.
tenant.
I didn't know if you had a.
Yeah, I do. For now,
Does it have to be like super climate control? Like, is that temp probably just gets
nah,
cold or hot, whatever it is, or it doesn't
yeah,
matter for
no.
those?
By the time spring comes, you're good. Uh, I feel like he did say something about trying not keep it in the sun, but you can. It
Mm.
depends on how fast you use it up. But yeah, you kind of don't want it in the sun. That fertilizer I love it, but it's super expensive, which is one thing. And then the second part is it's dirty. Like that's the best word to use. It is dirty. You need to change your filters like every day. It does cause problems with the gaskets on your pumps. So you got to be ready. You got to have backup like gaskets on hand, like a loaf of bread, because you will be replacing your gaskets quite a bit because there's literally junk in the fertilizer. But I like that. Like that's more like of a natural food for the plants. I mean, they love it. Like I loved my grass when I fertilized. You can tell that was us that did it. Like if you knew what we were doing, um, the grass shine, the blades shine like oily. They have that shine because of the mix that's in there. It's some kind of natural stuff, but it's like oil. And so when the plants take it in, the leaves shine. I don't know. And then with the green effect, you can make the grass so dark that it's like black, which you don't want to do. I've done that.
Have you done it? Yeah, you done
Yes, yeah, I've
it.
done it, and actually had complaints that it was black. And so
That's
like
funny.
I get it, but just so you know, it's because it's really green. It's so green that it's black. So I had to cut it back a little bit. But that's what's cool about the Greene County fertilizers. You can do that. You know, I don't remember how much that was to make it that way, but once I knew that was like the limit, you cut it back from there, and then you go less until finally we figure it out. Okay, we're gonna put I think 15 gallons per 100 per 200 per 300 gallons. I don't remember the exact, but it was quite a bit. But it was like the color I wanted. You know what I mean?
Did
It
you
would make
sell
the grass.
your whole fertilizing setup when you got out of it or something then?
No, I still have it in the back of the shop, but uh, we're kind of looking at it. It's like a junkyard in that area
Mm.
where I put that, and you could tell there was a big hole in it in the 250 gallons. I don't remember if it was from us or just from sitting there. Um, I didn't even try turning on the pump and the hose and the reel. I'm just gonna get new stuff because I don't know. It just looks like garbage back there. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I do need to go.
Alright.
I think this is pretty good, right? Is it good?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think you need to.
yeah.
I think in the future you should buy something to like so I can see your face while we're talking. All I see is like your eyes while
I
you're
know.
driving.
I'm in my truck because I really didn't know if we were gonna do it today, and then I had to go. I'm at a site with like a trailer. I'm gonna swap this trailer with this
Okay.
guy,
Well, anyway,
and
that
I'm
would
like,
just be if we're going to keep doing this. Like, we should probably have, some feedback, right? That would be like one
yeah,
of my
yeah.
feedbacks, I guess. But yeah, I think this went really well. But I do need to go.
All right.
So thank you, thanks
Yeah, you too.
everybody for hanging. Um, I don't know. Post in the comments if you have any questions for next time. Maybe if there's a topic you're interested in, we can do that. Or Niko could just keep asking questions, and I could ask questions too. But yeah. All right, guys, take it easy. Later, Niko. Yep. See ya.